The other thing I do is also call it kind of map the world, which is now you're actually taking the world and you say, okay, what are the places that Joe functions? I know he works at Starbucks, so I put down Starbucks. What kind of neighborhood's it in? What's next door? Is there like an old abandoned church that's next door? Maybe something spooky can happen there. Okay, where does he live? Okay, he lives in an apartment. Okay, who does he live with? He lives with 2 other guys. So now I go back to the other page and I had 2 guys in it and I can kind of create worlds for them. And there's something I learned from watching the show Law and Order, which I'm a big fan of. And Law and Order, they do what I call, they in every episode, part of the appeal of the show is they will, in every episode, there's at some point they're in a mansion, they're in the penthouse talking to somebody who's dripping in diamonds and really rich and a jerk and doesn't, okay. So you've got them, and they're also in the alley, with rats crawling on their shoes. And so in the course of an hour, 44 minutes of film and an episode of Law and Order, you've really had quite the experience of New York. You've gone from here to here. And if you look at episodes of Law and Order, often that's the case. That it's as variant, in locales as that. So as I'm doing the story map, the map of the world, one of the things I just keep in the back of my mind is, okay, what's the most upscale place that Joe, our character, can kind of appear in this? Is there something? Does he go visit the manager of his, or one of the manager of the Starbucks, and is that person, I don't know why he'd be rich, but has a place at the beach, and what's the lowest place? Well, maybe he's was in the alley and he's emptying the trash, and that's where he sees the dead body that gets us started. But I don't do only those things, but I kind of give myself that kind of extreme range. Now, so much of the stuff I put down may not bear fruit, but you end up with an embarrassment of riches, actually, because you've actually got more than you need. So in terms of the characters, to me, it's like now I've got all these great characters, and I can think of so many kind of cool things for each of the people and how they can fit in, that now I've got too much story. But believe me, that's much better to have too much story than be going, okay, I know what I want a story about a slacker guy who's trying to, who's a witness to a murder. Okay, but now where do I go from here? So it's all by doing the character one in particular. You get the relationship stuff, and relationships is what it doesn't matter, male, female, old, young, rich, poor, whatever. We're all human, and we're fascinated by how people interact with each other. So if you start your story and come at it from this kind of relationship starting point, it's a great way to dive into the story. And again, you're just letting your imagination go, and nobody's going to see it, and you don't have to show it to anybody. It's just all part of your process. So it's a great way to start.